That's cute. Remember when your grandparents had to die alone? Remember when you weren't allowed to go into nursing homes? Remember when your kids couldn't go to school? They were kicked out and they couldn't come back for 2 years if they weren't masked? Yeah, not good enough. I'm going to need to see some arrests.
He needs to comply with every subpoena they slap him with. And if he doesn't, we should shackle him. And maybe we should raid his house and look for collusion with China, because those are the new rules, apparently. We're just playing by them.
Dr. Anthony Fauci has announced he's officially stepping down from his post as the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases, as well as his position as chief medical advisor to President Joe Biden. And whether you agree with his handling of the COVID pandemic or not, his rise to prominence is one that few of us saw coming, but none of us will soon forget. But instead of celebrating his achievements or rationally criticizing his shortcomings, people on the right want him arrested.
This wasn't a way to avoid Republican investigations if they take over the House and or the Senate.
Oh, Neil, not at all. Not even a little bit. I mean, I have nothing to hide, and I can defend everything I've done and every decision I've made. So I'm not afraid of that at all. That didn't even come in as a minor consideration.
Funny how these TikTok grifters can't stop going after him and never mention the fact that it was actually Trump who held the highest office in the land at the time. And while they're busy casting blame on Fauci for draconian shutdowns and mask mandates, they quite literally are blindly following an autocrat of their own.
Trump Town. I'm gonna guess these people like Donald Trump.
How can they not see how much cognitive dissonance there is in their argument that Fauci is an evil scientist intent on destroying the United States with no input from the public or politicians, when this is how they show support for their preferred political figure? So the most pressing issue for Republicans relates to the origins of COVID-19 and their conspiratorial beliefs that it may have been manufactured in a lab. Representative James Comer of Kentucky wrote forcefully on Fox News that we know that Fauci's closest advisors warned in February of 2020 that the virus appeared to be genetically manipulated and pointed to a lab leak at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. So the congressman goes on to write about how those fears were never relayed to President Trump, so on and so forth. I just think that's important to get out here, the reasons why the right is coming for Fauci. But of course, when it comes to Trump, nothing's ever his fault. The 1 million deaths from COVID had nothing to do with his downplaying of the effectiveness of masks and sowing early discord about the vaccine and shutdowns, etc., etc. These calls for Fauci to testify are being amplified on air by Fox News really, really loudly.
The day he announced he was retiring and went on the most liberal network in the country and did an interview with the most liberal host in the country, he needs to comply with every subpoena they slap him with. And if he doesn't, we should shackle him.
Now, I'm not against criticism of powerful political figures, Fauci included, but this is downright insane and sets us up so dangerously for the next pandemic we will face. Trust in nonpartisan institutions could not be lower, and this language of throwing Fauci in jail, shackling him, is astonishing. Even the Wall Street Journal is casting doubt on Fauci, which shows how legitimized these takes are. This man undoubtedly has devoted his life to saving American lives, and in a field where so much is uncertain, the restrictions and cautiousness of his policies very well may have saved hundreds of thousands of lives. It's so clear that the right does not care about the value of life as much as their own power and privilege, and the fallout of their war against Fauci will stain our country's legacy for a very long time to come. Thanks so much for watching. You can follow me on all platforms at Caro Johnson 917.